Hello guys, TKG is here for your comfortable LostArk life. In this video, I'd like to cover the recent updates and improvements that was live on KL region, as the KL region update progressions are quite ahead than the global, so I thought it'd be great to share some of those infos for your LostArk journey. Now follow me, I'll show you what you need. Let's start with the updates on the first week of the April. First update was about the user interface. There was some updates on the tooltip on the class engraving. From now on, you can switch to PvE to PvP tooltip by pressing the Alt button. Pressing it will show you the class engraving effect by levels on PvP. Also, there was some fixes on the Behemoth raid too. Well, actually I really want to show and cover every fixes about the Behemoth, but the update was quite focused on the visual graphic effects. So I'm not going to cover each details about the graphical and systemic bug fixes on this video. I mean, it's kind of way too much minor and detailed changes. Additionally, small updates were done on the Stronghold installation. On the remote island, there wooden installation where you can put some of your installation below, but from now on you can't put the installation below of the wooden installation. And some of the graphical fixes was live on this update too. April 5th was the birthday of the Mokoko character, so on the same week, Mokoko birthday event was also live on this update. You can also get the free fan kit, which including the Discord profile image, cell phone theme, and the wallpaper of the desktop or laptop. Also, if you are playing on the KL, you can get the free new emojis of the Mokokos with the coupon. This coupon and the fan kit can be accessed through the official website. April 10th was an ending day of the event that was ongoing on the LostArk KL. First, the new Express Pass was over on this update. So if you are considering to raising the new character on the KL right now, it might be not the right time for now. Additionally, as the past events are gone, you are no longer can get the engraving support through the user interface. From now on, you have to build your character by yourself. Also, the challenge difficulty of the Thermine, the first event, was over on this update, so you are no longer to get the limited title Eclipse and the reward from the first difficulty. Additionally, on the Trithion training room, character combat stat cap is now increased to 1900. And I think this is the main part of this video. Before the end of the February event, new director John was turned on the stream on the April 5th. Well, actually he did the stream about 1 hour, but surely he said something about the future direction of the LostArk. And of course it mentioned something about the recent issues of the LostArk too. So I'd like to cover and recap some of the major issues as mentioned during the stream. So you might find out some future direction of the LostArk from this section. Let's start from the opinion about the new raid Behemoth. As you guys might already know about the new epic raid Behemoth, Behemoth is actually requiring 16 players to start the raid. Kinda crazy, right? You'll have to wait for the 4 support players to come in. However, the difficulty was way easier than the previous raid so far. On this matters, actually he said the easy difficulty was intended. As he mentioned, the combat playing experience was quite satisfying and successful, judging by the statistic. And less the burden, I mean the character progressions, as they only added the transcendence of the weapon. So as they intended to less the burden of the homework and relieve the fatigue of the player's experience, was quite successful, as they intended. But the epic raid might be the last on the Behemoth, as he mentioned on the stream. Still, the major raid of the LostArk is an 8-player raid, so they are not planning any 16 players epic raid on the future. Come to think of it, he also mentioned about the raid fatigue of these days LostArk raid. 2 new vertical and including Thermine, still the difficulty and the fatigue of the high raid are still existing within the conflict between the players. So they do aware about these matters, and now they are slowing down the speed of the vertical contents until this summer. Also, he mentioned about the adjustment of the raid right now, more like toning it down the remaining raid, like the Ivory Towers has 4 gates, right? So they are now trying to remove the certain gates on the Ivory Tower too. And additionally, they are now considering relieving the difficulty or the burden of the Transcendence and the Elixir progression. Elixir and Transcendence are quite high hurdle to jump to raising the other alt character, right? So someday they will try to relieve the difficulty of that 2 progression system. Plus, he mentioned about the solo contents of the LostArk. More like they are now making the alternative options for the new players and the remaining players, as the party making are quite stressful job in the LostArk, and sometimes for the new players, getting into the party is quite hard. And this making the new players too hard to catch up the progressions. So they will add the solo raid on this summer. Solo raid support will be from the Vulcan to Ivory Towers. After that, you have to do the party making. I mean from the Thermine, I guess. Solo contents are on alternative options. If you don't want to get stressed from the party making, you can do the solo raid. Or if you miss the party playing, you can make a party and go to the raid like normal. So you can play the raid by your favorites with one more options. Also, the solo content still need to solve the gimmicks. He didn't mention the details, but still, you need to do the gimmicks even when you are playing as solo. Also, he shortly mentioned about the balance too. First, the DPS meter is not planned on the future on the KL region. Maybe because the DPS meter will be brought some, bad conflict between the players during the raid. Also, the balance is quite differing in many ways from the actual indicators. As the LostArk is an action game, most of the balance was quite influenced much from the environmental factors, like from the raid tendency. So it is different from gate by gate, raid by raid. But still the balance has some problems, so they are now considering the changes on the fundamental factors, like the build is way too much rigged. If you wish to build some characters, you have to make certain stone and buy the accessories, which costing Phaeon and gold. And plus, you need to read the engraving book, right? Structure is now considered to be changed on future. For more details, you want to use the other class engravings on your class sometimes, right? That things might be possible in the future, so you can freely change your character build whenever you want. So in other words, it can be applied as a preset and can be switched whenever you want. So maybe we could use more varied engravings on the future without costing gold and Phaeons. Also, the MVP screen can be changed on the future. Especially the MVP was quite issued on 16 players raid, Behemoth, so they are now trying and actually fix and improve the MVP with more continuous interest. Additionally, new class female paladin is not considered for now. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching everyone, and always thanks for your big support. Hope this video was a little help for your LostArk journey. Hope you do well with your LostArk with this video. And of course, if you like my videos, hit the sub for more upcoming infos. I'll come back with more useful infos in the next video.